I kind of became an entrepreneur out of survival. Being an entrepreneur now, I feel like I finally found my true family.
Whenever anyone tells me that I can't do something, that's actually when I'm at my best and when I won't stop. That's when my passion ignites.
So I've always had stories inside my head that I wanted to realize, and my passion was about telling stories, and my personal goal is to entertain 1 billion people.
And what keeps me up at night is the incredible responsibility of being able to execute this vision and just thinking about how big this opportunity is.
My grandfather was a farmer, Grandpa Joe. So he always told me, whatever you do, don't become a farmer, because there are better ways to make a living, because the farmers always get screwed.
Every single tattoo that I have on my body is a part of me. It's a story. My children's names, my grandmother who passed away, the different stories that are told on my body remind me of where I came from. My background, my dad came over from Mexico, Tepatitlan, Jalisco. My father actually was able to get his paperwork and visa, but it was still a struggle. We were still thrown into a neighborhood, it's the northern part of Wichita, where only Mexicans resided. Is an area that's future doesn't look bright for a lot of the kids in that neighborhood, and it didn't look that way either for me as I was growing up.
My family's story began in Vietnam in 1975 as the war concluded. The whole family left everything behind and then heading out to the ocean, not sure where they're gonna land. My grandma told me a story basically where the moment she got on that boat with us, it's either death or survival. She was willing to take those odds for freedom. I was fortunate, I was in my mom's tummy when they got on that boat, but just growing up and hearing the stories firsthand, I'm very thankful for that. And that story has served as not just an inspiration for me in my life, but also an inspiration for the Battle Bears storyline.
I went to a tiny private school. My mom would drive me around to different high schools in the morning so I could take advanced classes. But I realized that not everyone had that same opportunity. Because of someone's zip code, their race, their class, they get vastly different opportunities. And for me, that's when I said, I can go make a difference, so I'm gonna go teach. That led me to Teach for America. And then I was assigned to teach in South Central LA. And it was the most life-changing experience.
So I went to see Toy Story in a Muncie, Indiana theater alone, and it was just an epiphany moment, right? This is the segue of art, technology, and entertainment and brand building that I want to be a part of. So I ended up selling everything I had and selling my car even to get this Silicon Graphics Unix workstation. And through this process of trying to achieve my vision on the screen, I learned a ton of things through that. So that combination of things kind of laid the groundwork for me to build a startup.
My mother was actually able to open my eyes and showed me a photograph of me and a lot of my friends, and she would circle the heads of all of my friends that would eventually end up either dead or in prison. The last time she ever showed me that photo, my head was the only one that wasn't circled. And I said, in order for me to change, I've got to get out of this environment. When I stepped out of there is when I became the guy that looked different, right? I couldn't get a regular job because of these tattoos, and so I had to go off and make it happen on my own. It helps me to move on and know that these are badges of honor for me now.
This country is built on the backs of the family farm, and no one is looking out for them. If you look out at these fields right now, that is massive risk from the beginning. It is risk from the weather. It's risk from commodity prices. It's risk from fuel. There's so much opportunity to help these guys, and they're such good people. They are the most true entrepreneurs, I think, on the planet, and a lot of times they don't even realize it.
There were so many flaws within the education system, and the one that stood out to me in particular was human capital. So the number one thing that's going to impact the group of kids in front of you is the quality of the teacher. We actually think really hard about where we're going to place doctors. Why don't we have the same type of system for our teachers? So when I had the idea for the company and when it was time to actually take the leap, I was telling myself all the reasons why I couldn't. And it was at that point that I knew I had to.
And I began to program. I began to get into ActionScript, XML, PHP, and then after that I fell in love with it. I couldn't stop from there, it just kept going. And it snowballed. When I finally changed my mentality, it totally changed my life. My reason, my why for being here was to represent change. I was this person, now I'm this person, and if I did it, you could definitely do it, right?
I'm very passionate about helping farmers empower themselves. We want to create a place where they can thrive. We want to create success for them, and we want to create success through information.
The main reason why I'm so passionate about what I do is entertaining people all around the world, helping them out or helping them smile. So my bar is at 1 billion, right? So I'm not quite there yet, but we're getting there.
When people ask you what your passion is, I have the easiest answer. I work with kids. What more could fill you with passion and drive than a room full of kids as you're helping them chase their dreams, just like you're doing your own?
I do want to pass on these stories to the next generation. And through that, my children and their children hopefully will get a glimpse of our family's journey.
I want my kids to be proud of me. I want them to look and say, she has made something, and she's made the world a better place. And she did that in room 33 at Figueroa Street, and she's gonna continue to do that in her boardroom today. When I look to the future, I think the greatest, most proud moment will be the first time I give a job offer to one of my former students. That's full circle, and that's a dream come true.
I've actually got to go to the White House twice already. We actually won most innovative application of the country. I was lucky enough to be able to still have my father here around to see those moments. I probably put my dad and my mom through the worst things of their life. I probably shouldn't even be here. For my dad to be able to see that I actually changed was amazing.
Who doesn't want to be in a place like this right now, right? I mean, the people are awesome. Being outside, the whole thing, the whole cultivating a crop. This is my 3rd company in this space. I don't have to come back to it, but I come back to it because I can't not. And helping them become all that they can be is something that really drives me. We're doing the right things for the right reasons. And I think Grandpa Joe would be very proud.